Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody that tunes in as always. Everybody at the door, I appreciate you waiting on us. Had some stuff to take care of behind the scenes, so we ran a little bit late, but here we are. Talking about the latest Giants news and rumors. We're going to do all that in today's show. We'll also go through my Week 18 preview against the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll go over if the Giants should start or rest the starters against the Eagles because the Giants really don't get any benefit or any negative if they lose this football game. I think the most important thing is to come out absolutely healthy. So we'll talk about that. Got two mailbags, so we'll answer your questions. Anything you got on Giants news, Giants rumors, trade targets, free agent targets. Who are they going to play in the playoffs? What do they got to do to win a playoff game? Can they win a Super Bowl? We'll answer questions all day long. We're going to have a lot of fun today. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Hope everyone is all right. Let's get it rolling, though, with a real one roll call here on the show, as we already have 74 people watching. If you're a real one, go ahead and drop a real one in the comments for me. Let's get a little bit of a roll call. I want to see where the real ones are at. Love you guys tuning into the show before the show even starts. The back and forth commentary between you guys, I love reading stuff like that. Shout out to Reginald, Shannon, Corinne. What up, Corinne? Jay, Big Ron, Melissa, Manzi, Hi, Big Bunker, Dad, K. Scott, Ashley, Basharshar? Basharshar? I think that's right. Is that what you would say? It's Bash and then Shar again. Bash. I think it's Basharshar. I don't know. I can barely read. Shout out to Danny, Panda, Carl. What's up, Brody? Where were you the other day? Knicks on Monday. Carl wasn't in the Knicks chat. I guess it is what it is. We'll see you tonight, I hope. What up, Crim's dad? My guy. Hope all is well. What up, X-Wing? BX banging. What up, brother? Jeff says, I think I'd rather play the Vikings because we definitely should have had that game, and that was what our scrubs in there for the defense. Hopefully we have our cornerbacks both healthy and back. Funny enough, the host of our Minnesota Vikings channel here at Chat Sports is producing today's video, and he knows that they can't beat the Giants. He just knows it.
I'm really nervous. I'm not going to lie. The Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau might just absolutely dominate that game.
I told him, enjoy these last 2 weeks of the season because before you know it, you'll be talking about draft prospects on that channel.
Yeah.
They don't want to play us. Pressure's on the Vikings.
Definitely on the Vikings, but we got the best player on the field in Justin Jefferson.
I thought you were about to say Kirk Cousins. We were going to have to end the show. That is hilarious. We're going to get to more news and rumors in a second, but first I want to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, that being Rocket Money, an app that's going to help me and it's going to help you save a lot of money in the new year. We'll tell you all about them. First, go to rocketmoney.com/Giants now and download the app. It's an app where you get to optimize all of your finances, and they help you organize your finances and help you save money. A app that shows you all your subscriptions on one screen and then cancels your subscriptions with just a tap of a button. It even it negotiates to help you lower your existing bills and monitor events that affect your credit score. Forbes says it's the app that will save you hundreds of dollars. So you get to view all your subscriptions in one spot, and maybe you've been double charged for a subscription that you don't know about. Rocket Money, they'll let you know about that, and they'll show you subscriptions that you didn't even think that you were paying for. And it's going to let you cancel them with just a tap of a button, because there's nothing worse than having a subscription that you don't want anymore, and you got to talk to this person on the phone and that person on the phone. Then you got to go to the website and scroll and look all day for the cancel button. Rocket Money is going to make it really easy on you to cancel those subscriptions. Let them do it for you just with the tap of a button. Download Rocket Money today. Save some money in 2023 like I am. Go to rocketmoney.com/Giants now. That link's in the comments and description of today's show. Sahagan's detailing, my guy, tuning in from the gym. I appreciate you, brother. Always stopping by, always showing love. My guy right there is the definition of a real one. So he's at the gym feeling better, tuning in. I'm glad you're feeling better, man, because there's nothing like being sick. It sucks. You gotta just gotta thug it out. You can't be sick. It's just not fun. I'm taking Fireball for you, my guy, as we always do. First super chat of the day, we will take a shot of Fireball. How about this? A little Wednesday special. Every $5 super chat that comes in today will take shots fireball. Every $5 on a Wednesday, because it's Wednesday. We're live. We weren't live last week because I was on vacation. I'm glad to be back with the homies. I appreciate you. Alrighty, as we, I do want to touch on Damar Hamlin and everything that's going around with him and try to give you guys an update because, like, even now I'm just talking about it, I'm kind of getting chills. It does none of this show, football, doesn't really matter right now. Damar Hamlin does. I'm sure everybody knows what is going on. If you don't, you can easily figure it out. This is what the Buffalo Bills tweeted out about Damar. They said Damar remains in the ICU in critical condition with signs of improvement noted yesterday and overnight. He is expected to remain under intensive care as his health care team continues to monitor and treat him. Suffered a cardiac arrest on Monday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals. He's been in the hospital ever since the game was canceled. It has been a crazy, crazy situation. As someone that has been around the game of football since I was 2 years old, my brother is 5 years older than me. He played Little League football when he was 7 years old. My dad was the head coach. I was the mascot of that team. I've been around tackle football my whole life. I don't remember any part of my life not having it, and I've never seen anything like this. So no one's really seen anything like this. It's crazy, and it's affecting every team across the NFL, and it's hitting home with the Giants because their regime of Brian Daboll and Joe Shane, they come from the Buffalo Bills. They know Damar Hamlin. This is Brian Daboll at practice today. He's wearing a Giants hat with the number 3 on the side. He spoke to the media today about Damar Hamlin, and talked about the type of person he was and how wild this is and how the Giants are handling that. The Giants are showing all their love and support for the Hamlins and their family. This is Joe Shane wearing the same hat with the number 3 on the side. So I just want everyone to keep Damar Hamlin in your thoughts and prayers because this is a scary, scary situation. Sometimes we say in football, I'd die for this. This is my life. And it's every time you step onto the field, it's a battle. It really is, and you're running a risk. So I just want everyone to remember that these people that play in football are people. They're people, and they have families that love them. And the number one goal is to always just leave the game healthy and be able to come back to your family. And right now, that's not happening for one of the NFL alumni. So I hope everyone just keeps him in his prayers. And I just want to talk about how it's affecting the Giants a little bit. Damar Hamlin, according to this is what Jordan Renan put on Twitter earlier today, said Damar Hamlin's situation has clearly hit the Giants hard. Brian Daboll got teary-eyed earlier when he was talking to the media. He said his former teammate, wide receiver Isaiah Hodgins and Nick McLeod, they're clearly shaken up. McLeod said it's been tough on everyone that knows Hamlin. They are all checking on each other and doing the best they can. More connections in the Giants locker room via Art Stapleton. Said Nick McLeod told me he and Jason Pinnock, locker room mates with the Giants, have essentially been on the phone every hour trying to get updates on Bills safety Damar Hamlin, their close friend. McLeod played with Hamlin in Buffalo, and Jason Pinnock was his college teammate at Pittsburgh. So I just want everyone to remember that this is a game that has some violent repercussions, and it is very, very unfortunate. My thoughts and prayers are definitely with Damar Hamlin. Couldn't do today's show without talking about him, so let's show some love. It's been a scary, scary situation for sure. Let's try to shift gears the best we can right now. Let's try to talk about a little bit of Giants football right now. If you want the Giants to beat the Eagles, or you just hate the Eagles, because I know I hate the Eagles. I know you probably hate the Eagles. If you're a Giants fan, I think I hate the Eagles more than the Cowboys, but it always just depends on what week it is. If it's the Giants versus the Eagles or Giants versus the Cowboys, that's the team that I hate more. So if you hate the Eagles, you want the Giants to beat the Eagles, I want everyone to give this video a thumbs up. Like this video if you could, because we got about 150 people watching right now and just 46 likes. Can't we get to 100 likes? That is the goal of today's show. Before we start today's show, we're not starting today's show until we get to 100 likes. So if you could, hit that thumbs up icon. And if you have liked the video, comment me in the comment section and I'll give you a shout out. We had some trolls in the chat. Brutal. Just brutal. Don't engage with the trolls, guys. We will get those out of there. That's just nothing to even joke about. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to K. Scott, Richard, Gosi Boy, ESMZ, Josh, Will Jackson, Monty, Shannon, Melissa, Manzi, Christopher, Tony. What up, brother? Reginald, what up? Shannon. Jordan says, living in DFW, I hate the Cowboys more. I agree with you. I hate their fans as well. We're on the same page. Good job, Corinne. We appreciate that. Big Dave, what up? What up, Josh? What up, Haley? What up, Dad? What up, Zion Monster? What up, Jeff? What up, Jeremy? Make sure you guys do hit that thumbs up icon. I would greatly appreciate it. We do have 2 mailbags to get to in today's show. If you want to be featured on the show, the easiest way is to super chat, just like K. Scott Ashley did, the $1 super chat from K. Scott. We appreciate you, K. Scott Ashley. Hope you're having a great day. Go Big Blue. If you want to be featured on a mailbag, the easiest way to do it is super chat. All super chats get on the show. So if you want to guarantee your spot in line during the mailbag, you can super chat, or you just use hashtag Giants in the comments section. I want to answer mailbag questions about the Giants, offseason plans, thoughts versus the Eagles, the playoffs. If you have a question, I would greatly appreciate it if you asked it in the comments section. Go ahead and use hashtag Giants. We're going to start with the latest news and rumors surrounding the Giants. We got an injury update on Adoree Jackson. We're also going to talk about whether the Giants should sit or start the starters. And then we're going to do 2 mailbags. So we have a loaded show today. We're going to touch on the latest Giants news and rumors. Melissa says, Marshall, do you like Evan Neal? If you included hashtag Giants in your comment, Melissa, just like that, we'll put it on the show. I don't have any questions in the queue right now. We got no questions. I need the real ones to go ahead and drop a question for me in the comment section, as my guy Mike Francis is in the chat. What up, Brody? If you could, it helps the show go. If we don't have any questions, we won't be able to do a mailbag, and this will be a very, very short live Giants Now video. Shout out to my guy ESMZ for getting a question. Shout out to Christopher Tony for getting a question in. Gosi Boy. Shout out to Beast Gaming. Shout out to Matt Robertson. You guys are awesome. Keep getting those questions in while we break down the latest Giants news and rumors. What up, Giants fans? Welcome into today's show. We're going to touch on the latest news and rumors surrounding the Giants. But before we do, it's Eagles week. And I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. I know you do too. If you hate the Eagles, I want you to go down right now and like this video, because our Eagles channel is also having a like battle with us on this video, and I want to put them in the dirt. You hate the Eagles, go ahead, like this video. You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to touch on the latest injury news on Adoree Jackson. Then we're going to go through my Giants versus Philadelphia Eagles preview. We'll take a look at the NFL playoff picture, maybe who the Giants will match up against in the wild card weekend round, and we'll talk about should the Giants rest the starters. We have a loaded show today. Let's lock it in. Let's start with Adoree Jackson, the Giants cornerback who has not played in quite some time since he sprained his MCL on that punt return. He was a limited participant during practice on Wednesday. He started practicing a little bit last week, kind of ramping that up this week. I don't expect him to play. I think if the playoffs were this Sunday, he would play. But with the Giants being locked into the 6th seed, win or lose against the Philadelphia Eagles, I really don't think there's a need to rush back Adoree Jackson. Maybe get him a couple reps to knock the rust off, but I'm not trying to give him a heavy workload. I mean, it's been incredible, the job and the patchwork job that this cornerback depth chart has been able to do without Adoree Jackson on the football field. You've seen guys like Fabian Moreau step up. Darnay Holmes has had a couple good games. Nick McLeod has played some good football. Cordell Flott has played some good football as well. I thought it was going to be really hard. I don't think they replaced him. We didn't ever get the production at the cornerback spot without Adoree Jackson, but these guys on screen were able to hold down the ship. When you lose a talented player like Jackson, who is asked to do so much in a Wink Martindale defense of consistently playing man-to-man, one-on-one coverage in this man-to-man blitz-heavy scheme that Martindale likes to run, and you lose a guy like that, it's hard to replace, especially when you don't have a lot of money tied up in this this spot on the depth chart, it's incredible what they've been able to do. That's a credit to the coaches. That's a credit to the players. Big ups to them. Fabian Morrow, he's earned a lot of money for himself this offseason. We're going to break down the rest of the injury report coming up in a second, but I do want to let you guys know that here at Chat Sports, we have multiple channels. We have almost every single NFL channel. Giants channel, run by yours truly, and our Eagles Now channel, run by Chase Sr., who I am desk mates with at work. And I walked into work today, and he told me, yo, Marsh, you check how many subs you picked up this week? And I was like, yeah, we're doing pretty good. We picked up 62 subs. He was like, yeah, well, over on Eagles Now, we have over 100 more subs this week than you guys do. And I can't take the shit talking anymore because I'm going to get upset. And Chase is my guy. But it is F the Eagles week. So help us catch Philadelphia Eagles Now in subs this week. We put out videos every single day on the latest Giants news and rumors. So that's what you're looking for. We're a one-stop shop on YouTube for the best Giants coverage. Go down right now, hit that big red button. Let's get to the rest of the injury report. Guys that did not participate in practice on Wednesday. Jon Feliciano is dealing with a back injury. D lineman Leonard Williams is dealing with that neck injury. Azeez Ojulari, still they're monitoring that ankle injury. I don't think it's anything new. None of these guys really have new injuries. Dexter Lawrence had a rest day. Look, you got a 18-week season. And right now, the game really doesn't matter. I think the Giants are doing the right thing. They are putting an emphasis and a priority on rest and making sure guys are fresh going into that wild card weekend. It's always a slippery slope when you play that game. Do you value more rest or do you value more sharpness? It's always something that a coaching staff is going to battle. And the question has already been asked to Brian Daboll, is he going to rest the starters? And he talked about what Tom Coughlin did back in the 2007 season when the Giants played the New England Patriots back in Week 17, where the Giants were locked into their spot. The Patriots were locked into their spot. They were obviously trying to complete the perfect regular season. Tom Coughlin played the starters. Giants battled them to the last second of the game. They lost, but they made them hot, got them on their P's and Q's. They came into the playoffs with momentum. And as we know, 2007 Super Bowl, Giants beat the Patriots again. Brian Daboll said that has nothing to do with this year. I expect some of the starters to play, but guys that I would rest are the guys that have a heavy workload on this team. I got like Leonard Williams, who's already been hurt. I don't think there's a need for a veteran like Leonard Williams to play. Azeez Ojulari has been in and out of the lineup this year. He's just coming back from an ankle injury. I wouldn't rest him. I wouldn't push him, I would rest him. Maybe you give these guys a series or two just to stay sharp, but I wouldn't overwork any of these guys. Dexter Lawrence, he's had a workload unlike any interior defensive lineman so far this year. I'd give him the game off. Saquon Barkley. You lose Saquon Barkley in Week 18 and you head to Minnesota to play him. That's a big loss. I wouldn't play a guy like Saquon Barkley. And a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau, I think he's just too valuable. We've seen him bruised up a little bit, missed the first couple games of the season with that sprained MCL. These are the 5 guys that I would for sure not play. I honestly wouldn't play Adoree Jackson either. We said that earlier in the video, coming back from injury. And I wouldn't give Xavier McKinney too heavy of a workload. Overall, nobody needs to be overworked. I'm not playing Julian Love 90% of the snaps. And I'm not playing Andrew Thomas too much or Evan Neal too much. I honestly wouldn't even really play Evan Neal, Andrew Thomas, and Daniel Jones more than a half. If I was the head coach, I would treat this game like the last preseason game. Everybody plays a little bit. The guys that are already hurt, we sit them out, and then you take them out of the game sooner rather than later, because it's a good time to evaluate the rest of the roster and see where they are at. I would monitor the usage of the big guys. I wouldn't really play the starters all that much. But what do you say? I want all the Giants Now real ones to sound off in the comments section. What would you do? If you were Brian Daboll, what would you do with the starters in Week 18 versus Philly? Sound off. Let me know. Would you bench them? Would you start them? Would you play them a little bit? I want to hear from the real ones. Let me know what you would do with the starters. We're going to get more injury news, preview, keys, and all that in this video. We got a lot to talk about, but first I want to tell you about an app that I'm using in 2023 that's helping me save money. Yes, that is Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Giants now. It's an app that's going to organize and optimize all of your financials, and you can cancel your unwanted and unused subscriptions with just a tap. It's going to show you all your subscriptions in one place. It helps you keep track of your monthly expenses, about how much money you're spending at one spot. Our Dolphins Today host, he uses this app. He spent over $700 at Chick-fil-A this past year. That is a record, I think, and that is incredible. And I promise you, with him using Rocket Money now, he is not going to do that again. Look, everybody knows when you have an unwanted and unused subscription, how hard it is to cancel it. You can do that with just a tap of a button thanks to Rocket Money, where you can view all your subscriptions on one screen. Help me save money. I want you to save money. Use Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Giants now. When you look at the NFC playoff picture, no matter what happens in Week 18 in this Giants-Eagles game, if the Giants tie, I said tie because we already know that's happened. If the Giants tie, they lose, or they win, they are locked in at the number 6 seed. Like we talked about earlier, do you play the starters? At this point in the preview videos, we list my keys to victory. Today, it's just MG's keys. And the number one key in Week 18 is leave the game healthy. You don't want to have an injury to a guy like Daniel Jones or Andrew Thomas or Saquon Barkley or Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins, Richie James. You don't want to lose anybody in this game for the season. So that means monitor the usage. Monitor the snap count. Don't overwork anybody. And this is a game that you have to lose by a couple of touchdowns just to keep everybody ready and healthy for the wild card weekend, round 1 of the playoffs. I am in that boat. I would rest most of the players with heavy usage. I also think it's a good time to continue to build momentum. And you don't have to just win to build momentum. Stack good plays. Stack good possessions. Stack good series. Find ways to continue to get better. Just play technically sound football. That's what I'm looking for this week. Leave the game healthy and continue to build momentum, because you want to go into this wild card weekend matchup with some sauce, with some swag, with a little bit of, I guess, something to prove, because the Giants do, but with a good bit of rhythm. You don't just want to lose rhythm, and I know that's kind of hard by resting the starters, but there is a line that you can toe. That's why I kind of lean towards the last game of the preseason kind of mindset of how I would play the players. But when you look at this wild card situation in the NFC playoff picture, if the season ended today, the Giants would be playing the Minnesota Vikings in round 1. They'd be traveling to Minnesota. They most likely will play Minnesota. If Minnesota wins this week and San Francisco loses, that means the Giants would play the San Francisco 49ers. That's the only way that would pretty much change. But with the Niners playing the Cardinals and the Vikings playing the Bears, sounds like the Vikings aren't going to play too many other stars. They're kind of like the Giants. They have some critical guys banged up. So I think the Giants will most likely be locked in and playing the Minnesota Vikings. But if the Giants do beat the Eagles and the Cowboys beat the Washington football team, that means that the Dallas Cowboys would win the NFC East, and that would change up the home field advantage in that one time. So maybe you want to play spoiler. Maybe you hate the Cowboys. Maybe you hate the Eagles. Maybe you want to beat the Eagles and have the Eagles fall down in the playoff picture and the Cowboys rise. So there's a lot of stuff you could be rooting for this weekend. But I want to ask this question because maybe you just absolutely hate the Eagles. You don't really care too much about the Cowboys. So you want to beat the Eagles and you want the Cowboys to win, and that way the Cowboys get the higher seed. Who do you hate more? I want to hear from you in the comments section. Let me know. What team do you hate more? Type PHI for the Eagles, DAL for the Dallas Cowboys. Let me know what you think. This is going to get interesting in the comments section. My last key to this weekend's game against the Philadelphia Eagles is evaluation. This is rare air for an NFL team. You get a meaningful game because the Philadelphia Eagles are playing for something. They have to win. If they don't and the Cowboys win, their season is much different than they thought it was just 3 weeks ago heading into the playoffs. So you're going to be able to see guys that don't play that many snaps usually play a lot of snaps, and you're going to be able to evaluate them. And that is so critical that you get real NFL time to evaluate essentially the bottom third of your roster heading into the offseason. You get to see which guys you want to keep around, which guys have gotten better this year. That's what I'm looking for. Leave the game healthy. Try to continue to build up some momentum and evaluate the rest of the roster. Get an extended look at Tyrod Taylor. Decide if you want him to be your backup quarterback. Maybe you get to see Kenny Golladay play some more snaps and he starts to get a rhythm. I know we're wishing for the stars and the moon with that one, but you get to see more from Gary Brightwell and more from Matt Breida, and you get to see some of the young backup offensive linemen play. I think this is a critical week for the Giants, but the number one key and the only thing I really care about is leave the game healthy. I appreciate everyone, as always, for tuning in and making New York Giants Now by Chat Sports a part of your day today. Let's hit a real one roll call, because I like to know which people finish the videos. That's what we do this for. If you made it this far in the video, comment real one down below, so when I go and check out the comments and respond to you guys, I know who finished the video. Woo! Let's go. Look at all the real ones in the chat. Bill! Bill! What up, Bill? Bill, we're sending out the football today. I got the address. I sent it in to our shipment team, and they are going to get that out for you, my guy. Same with you, Corinne. Everybody that has won something over the past couple of weeks, we are shipping those out today. We wanted to wait for kind of the holiday shipping extravaganza to die down a little bit. Didn't want any packages lost. Those are going out today. Remember, guys, we are about to get into a mailbag, and I want to hear from people like Liverpool and Derek and Stephen G and Linus and Bill and Mike and BX Mel and Christopher and Neezy and Ghost Boy. If you want your question to be answered on this upcoming mailbag, make sure you don't go down in the comments section and use hashtag Giants. Ask anything you want in the comments section. Just use hashtag Giants. That way our producer, Patrick Seatman, can pull those up on the show. I think both those super chats from Will and Mike can go on this. Will, Mike, we appreciate the super chats. I'm going to take a shot for both of you guys. We're going to get both of those on the mailbag.
Will and Mike will be starting us off on the mailbag. Those are elite questions.
Those are good questions. If you want to guarantee your question to get on the show, like Mike Francis and like Will Jackson, super chat. Super chat is your only way to guarantee that your question gets on the screen. Crim's dad said, is that Rolly? No, Rolly. It's Seeps. I know Crim's dad hates Seeps.
Crim's dad does hate me.
Crim's dad hates Seeps.
But, or is it because he loves
Crim's
Rolly?
dad is asking for Rolly.
I heard my name.
Rolly. Come here, Rolly. Your fellow Giants fans, they love you.
I do miss Giants Nation. Crim's dad, what a beast.
Crim's dad is a beast. That's why Crim's dad is on the Mount Rushmore of Giants Now by Chat Sports.
How are my New Yorkers doing today?
Are we having a chicken francese talk again or no?
Listen, I'm always down for some good chicken French talk. I forgot who said that's not how you say it. Sadly.
Crim's dad says trade Seeps for Rolly. All righty.
What's up, Melissa?
Tell them to get their questions in, dude.
You got to use hashtag Giants or Super Chat to skip the line. What are we doing here, fellas? Come on.
Mike's already got a question there. Crim's dad, I need a question from you. Christopher Tony's got a question in. Pokey Moore's got a question in. If you could, drop a question for me. Shout out to Sahagan's Detailing as well. Timothy, always getting the best questions in there, my guy. What up, brother? Shout out to Rolly. He's going to be on Knicks Now tonight for the game, so see him over there. Shout out to ESMZ. Shout out to my guy. Is it Linus? It's got to be Linus 12, right? Corinne says there's lots of questions. Questions came in? Awesome. Leandro Batista with $1 super chat. You guys are awesome blossom. That's what my 10th grade geometry teacher would say. Awesome blossom. Good old, I don't remember his name. That's funny though. He was a character. That's for sure. Let's do it. Let's get into the mailbag right now. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to get into a mailbag where we answer questions from subscribers, which airs always on our live shows on Wednesday. If you're wondering, yo, Marsh, how do I get my question on the mailbag? Number one, you you got to be a subscriber. So go down right now, hit that big red button, and then you got to join us for our live shows every single Wednesday. So turn on your notifications so you never miss a show. Shout out to my guy Will Jackson for the first question on today's show, which is a super chat, $2 super chat. Shout out to my guy Will. He says, do the Giants draft Quentin Johnston in the first? Johnston, the wide receiver for TCU. He is going, in my opinion, to be the number one wide receiver selected in the 2023 NFL draft. And for that reason, I say no, the Giants don't draft him unless they trade up. Because I don't think the Giants will be in a high enough spot closer to pick number one to be in a position to draft a guy like Johnson. I think he goes top 10, top 15 at the latest. I don't think the Giants pick until anywhere after 18. Giants need a receiver. There's a lot of guys that they could look at. Maybe a guy like Jordan Addison out of USC. Maybe a guy like Jackson Smith and Jigba out of Ohio State. There's a lot of good wide receivers in this draft. I would look to select a wide receiver in round one. But at the end of the day, I'm going with best player available. Whoever is the best player on the board when the Giants pick, that's who I'm going to select. I hope it's a corner. I hope it's a wide receiver. If it's an inside linebacker, I'm not against that. Giants could use that type of guy, a playmaker, at the linebacker spot on this defense. Another $5 super chat from my guy Mike Francis. What up, Brody? He says, hate picking in the teens. What are your thoughts about picking in the teens in this draft? I don't mind it. Obviously, you want to be closer to one, but if picking in the teams means that I get to watch my team in the playoffs, that's a pretty cool trade-off. I'll take that every day of the week. But sometimes you see take picks in this teens that still become all pros and Hall of Famers. You kind of let those bad teams that are usually always at the beginning of the draft select the bus, and then the good guys just fall right in your lap. What pick was Justin Jefferson? Justin Jefferson was the 22nd pick in the National Football League. He's what? Best receiver in the NFL right now? You can get A.J. Brown was a second-round draft pick. DK Metcalf, I think, was a second-round draft pick. You can get great wide receivers in late round one and round two. So, Mike, I get your point, but I think every Giants fan right now would take a playoff game against the Minnesota Vikings in the wild card weekend over picking number 5 or number 7 again. I know I for sure will. Appreciate the soup, Mike. You're a real one. Bob the Builder says, do you think the Giants could trade for T. Higgins since he has a lot of players to re-sign? Or maybe Devontae Adams because he went to Vegas because OCDC. Because of DC Derek Carr. Okay, so you're saying Higgins because they have a lot of players. You got Boyd, you got Chase, you got Joe Mixon. There's a lot of money on that offense. Do they want to pay another high receiver like T. Higgins? That makes some sense. And Devontae Adams, what I think you're trying to say is, should the Giants look into trading for Devontae Adams because he solely went to play with the Las Vegas Raiders to play with his college quarterback and best friend Derek Carr? I don't hate that idea. So let's kind of compare the seasons that Adams and Higgins are having this year. I think it's also very important to remember that T. Higgins is 22 years old and Devontae Adams is 30 years old. One makes $30 million. One is still on their rookie deal. No doubt about it, Devontae Adams is still a top 5, maybe even the best receiver in football still. I mean, look at these stats. He's going to finish with over 100 grabs, over 1,500 yards, probably 15 touchdowns, 90 yards per game. The guy is a pro's pro at the wide receiver spot. I just don't envision that the Las Vegas Raiders would move on from him so soon. I mean, I didn't think they were going to move on from Derek Carr this soon. But, Derek Carr, right? Yeah, David Carr was the Giants' Super Bowl champion QB. Devontae, I'd love for the Giants to get him. I think it's going to cost a lot more, and he's worth a lot more, and he's older. But a guy like T. Higgins, 73 grabs, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 14 yards per catch. The Giants need an elite, dynamic wide receiver one on the outside, and maybe it could be a guy like T. Higgins. I'll ask you. You had to pick a wide receiver to go and get. And this isn't of who is better, because we all know Devontae Adams is better than T. Higgins. But pick a wide receiver to go make a move for. Remember, Adams is worth more money. He's going to cost more in a trade, and he's older. But he's better. T. Higgins, younger, less money, wouldn't cost as much. So factor all that into your decision. Put your GM hat on. What do you say? Pick a wide receiver. Type DA or TH. What do you say? Sound off down below. Leandro Batista, my guy, $2 super chat. Appreciate the love, brother. He said, should the Giants trade for a better draft pick? I'm not ever against moving up in the first round of the NFL draft. But it always matters who's on the board or where you're picking. If there's a guy that the Giants fall in love with pre-draft process and he's available, but they don't think he's going to get to him, and they have to and they just know he's the guy, then I'm not against moving up for a guy like that. Maybe there's a quarterback that they fall in love with, which I think might even be off the table now, but you never know. Maybe there's a receiver they love or a cornerback they love or just any player that they love. Yeah, I'm not against trading up, but it does cost a lot to trade up in the first round. That's definitely something to keep in mind. They fall in love with a guy, wide receiver corner, if they think it'd be a day one starter and an impact player, Leandro, I'd go do it. I'd go get my guy. When you can get the best player that you think is going to fit your scheme, go make the move. Crim's dad with a $10 super chat, my guy. He says, how far do you think the Giants will go in the playoffs? Seeps, can we pull up that playoff picture? Shout out to Seeps. Look. Seeps, close your ears right here, our Vikings producer. That is a winnable football game. I am not saying the Giants will win. I'm saying they can win. I think if that game happens, the Vikings will enter it as 3.5-point favorites. And they're home. Don't let it be Monday Night Football or Kirk Cousins might not even show up because we know what happens on primetime football with Kirk Cousins. Look, the pressure in that game is all on the Minnesota Vikings. At one point, they had a chance to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. They were the number 2 seed for like 7 weeks. And now they're the 3 seed. They have a rookie head coach. We have a rookie head coach. Let's say that the Giants match up with the Vikings and they beat them. And let's say that the Niners beat the Seahawks and the Cowboys beat the Bucks. That means the Giants would play the Eagles and the Niners would play the Cowboys. Be tough to beat the Eagles in the playoffs, but I don't think it could not happen. I think the Giants can go, look, it's the playoffs. Once you get into the dance, anyone is allowed to leave with the hottest girl. So I don't want to say they can go to the Super Bowl, but anything's possible. Let's say, and I don't wish this on anybody, let's say a primetime player for the Eagles, maybe Jalen Hurts goes down in that game. Like, you're an injury away from anything happening. Anything can happen in the playoffs. I think they're going to beat the Minnesota Vikings in round 1. And to guarantee that the Giants beat the Vikings in round 1, sub for playoff dubs. We usually say sub for dubs. Now we're saying sub for playoff dubs. A lot of teams wish they could say that, so we're saying that. If you want the Giants to beat the Vikings or the 49ers in round 1 of the playoffs, go ahead, hit that sub button. We put out videos every single day on the latest Giants news and rumors. Also, you can bet on the Giants game this weekend against the Eagles. You can bet on the Vikings game this week against the Bears. You can bet on any NFL, NBA, MLB when it comes back around, NHL, any sport. We've got your game. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Promo code chat125. BetUS, the best sports book in the damn game. They sponsor Chat Sports. They are our friends. Get hooked up with them. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Promo code chat125. Matt Robertson. What up, Matt? He says, did Daniel Jones earn $25 million per year? Let's do this. Let's look at 2022 NFL QB salaries. I know them. I just want to get a list in front of us right here. The highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm going to see if I can do per year. $25 million is about the middle of the pack. So, kind of, right? Like, I guess he kind of earned that. I mean, when you think about it, Matthew Stafford's making $61 million per year. That's incredible. 4 years, $160. Russell Wilson makes $57. Josh Allen makes $46.9. Deshaun Watson makes $46. Rodgers makes $42. Cousins makes $40. Tom Brady makes $30. Kyler Murray makes $30. Patrick Mahomes makes $29.4. Ryan Tannehill makes $29. I mean, other guys that make $25 million? Matt Ryan, Derek Carr, Jared Goff. I'd sign up for 4 for 100 for Daniel Jones. I'd rather like 3 for 75. I think the shorter the deal, I don't know. He's earned it. He has earned it. The Giants are going to the playoffs. I mean, anytime a quarterback leads you to the playoffs with the lack of weapons and kind of the bad interior offensive line the Giants have, yeah, Matt, you're right. Price is going up. Would have been a lot cheaper if they signed him before the year. Marsh Lover 37. What a name. Marsh must be a lucky guy. Do you still think the Giants should have traded for a wide receiver at the deadline? All right, this guy's been watching the show. I was of the belief, and honestly I still am, that the Giants should have traded for a wide receiver because I understand building for the future. But the Giants had a chance this year to capitalize. And I'm not saying if you traded for a wide receiver, you wanted one in the Super Bowl. But I am saying you'd be a better team. You'd be a better offense. Richie James and Isaiah Hodgins have been great. They are your number 1 and number 2 receiver. But could you imagine these two guys with DJ Moore? Or these two guys with also Jerry Jeudy? I'm glad they didn't trade for Chase Claypool. I'm glad they didn't trade for a couple of those guys, but they would have been better. It is not guaranteed that the Giants under Joe Shane and Brian Daboll ever get back to the playoffs. Do I think they will? 100%. But sometimes I think we got to live more in the moment than always looking to the future. I know we save draft capital and we're in the playoffs anyway. But if you're telling me that back at the trade deadline we were going to make the playoffs and we would have traded for a receiver, I think the Giants would have been in a damn good spot. I'll ask you, though, because I think there's good answers to both sides. I just kind of wish they would have been a little bit more aggressive and got Daniel Jones another weapon. What do you think, though? Should the Giants have traded for a wide receiver at the NFL trade deadline? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Sound off for me if you could. And give me a follow over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I'm trying to get my Twitter cloud up, and I want to follow more Giants fans. So if you follow me from this video, I'll give you a follow back. Just DM me mailbag so I know that you came from this video. Like, it's this tricky situation. Seems like, should they have traded for one? They made the playoffs without it, so you didn't waste, and that's a bad word, draft capital. But you can't tell me if you had Jerry Jeudy in the slot instead of Richie James, you're not a better football team.
And, I mean, you said DJ Moore. That was a name that kind of stuck out to me because he's young, too. I mean, Jeudy
I'd go for trade for DJ Moore this offseason. I think he would be a great player in this offense.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're under the impression, new wide receivers coming out of the draft, they're just hitting at a higher rate now. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are some good receivers in this draft, especially in the teens.
I see both sides have good points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the only point I don't like is that when the Giants lost to the Eagles back in, was it week 14? And they got blew out. All the fans on Twitter were like, what a job by Joe Shane for not going all in and trading for a receiver. This roster wasn't ready. They're in the fucking playoffs right now. What do you mean they're not ready? Is this the best roster the Giants will get with this group? Not even close. What I'm saying is, though,
you're also in the playoffs playing in the best division in football.
Yeah.
And you're locked in with a week you could rest your starters.
And, no one said you had to trade a first-round pick and go all in for a receiver. But what about if you traded a fifth-round pick for Marvin Jones, a veteran?
Yeah.
That would have been a great deal. I don't know if that was available. I just wish the Giants would have did more to win this year because they're in a spot to win.
They are.
Just kind of how I feel. Take a shot for my guys. Neezy with $1 super chats. Neezy. If you have a question, man, drop it in the comments section. We'll put it on the show. Would love to answer your question, Neezy. Thank you for the love and support. And another reason I think the Giants should have traded for a wide receiver, Seeps, is because they traded Kadarius Toney, and they got a 3rd and 6th round pick for him. So you have extra draft capital.
You could have packaged something together.
Yeah,
like guy in the building.
You never know when you're going to get back to this point.
Yeah.
We take it for granted as fans, but
know.
it is so damn hard to be a top 7 team in the conference.
Especially in the NFL. It's so hard to make the playoffs.
I wrestle with it at times, but I still do think the Giants should have traded for a receiver. All right, we're going to get into another mailbag. We're at $25 in Super Chats. I'm just going to put this out there. I don't know what's going to happen. If we get to 100, me and Seeps will do a beer shotgun race. We're 75 away. I don't know if it'll happen. I know Crim's dad has some hate for Seeps, so maybe he might help that train. But if we can get to $100 in Super Chats by the end of today's show, I'll show you what's going to happen Wild Card Weekend when the Giants play the Vikings. We're going to dust them. Boom! If we get $100 in Super Chats, I'll race our Minnesota Vikings host and fan, Crim's dad. I would never tell Seeps that. All righty. Let's if you want to guarantee your spot on the mailbag for a question, go ahead and Super Chat. Are we good on questions? Seeps said we could use some more, so if you could, go ahead. Let's get into it. Giants mailbag. What up, Giants fans? You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. If I missed your question and I wasn't able to answer it on today's show, hit me in the DMs. My DMs stay open. You know what I'm talking about. I'll chop it up with you about Giants football all day long. Give me a follow. Send me a DM at @MarshallGreen_. Let's get into the mailbag. Jack R. What up, brother? He says, do you think the Giants should sit Saquon and Danny this week in Week 18 against the Eagles? I would treat Week 18 against the Eagles like the last preseason game. Let them play a couple of series. I'd bench some starters. Bench is a strong word. I would rest some starters. But Saquon is a guy that I don't really need to see anything from in Week 18. I'd let Daniel Jones play one or two series, keep him fresh, keep him sharp, keep him rolling. He's playing the best football of his career. Neither of these guys need to play all four quarters. Win, lose, or draw. Yes, draw. We have to say tie now because the Giants tied. They're going to be locked into the 6th seed. I know Tom Coughlin made it an awesome thing amongst Giants fans to play their starters when they didn't have to. Go back to 2007 if you know, you know. But that was different. You were playing an unbeaten Patriots team. You wanted to be the team that dethroned them. I don't really see any benefit of playing the starters too much this week against the Eagles. Logan, what up, brother? He says, do Giants go wide receiver or DB first round in the draft? I'm going to give you a very boring answer here, Logan, and I'm sorry. Whoever's the best player available. Let's say the Giants pick at 22. And on their big board when they are pick 22, a wide receiver is number 18 on their big board, and a corner is at number 19. I think Joe Shane has said it, and he's proved it. He's best player available. He's going to take the guy that's highest on his board. If you're asking me what's a bigger need, I would say biggest needs for the Giants. Wide receiver, corner, interior offensive lineman, middle linebacker, and I think those are the biggest 4 needs above all positions. Wide receiver, corner, interior offensive line, inside linebacker. If I had to choose, like if you were just asking me who would I rather have, I'd rather have a receiver. But you're staring at a lockdown corner at pick 22. Take him and run and let Wink Martindale have some fun with him. Randy B, what up, brother? He said, should Dable be coach of the year? That's a great question. That's a great question, Randy. Hell yeah, he should. The Giants are going to the playoffs, guys. They picked 5th in the NFL draft last year. They had no cap space. They made no trades. The number 1 free agent they signed was Mark Lewinsky. Nobody knew who he was last year. Yes, this has been one of the best coaching jobs in the first year of a coach in National Football League history. The Giants are going to the playoffs with Isaiah Hodgins and Richie James as their wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. I didn't think those were humans last year. What Brian Dable has done to not only get the Giants to the playoff, get the best out of Saquon Barkley, get the best out of Daniel Jones. Yes, Brian Dable should be the National Football League Coach of the Year in the 2022-2023 season. Show him some love. Show Brian Dable some love in the comments section. I know it says dabs. but that's how he spells it, and he pronounces it Dabes. Show our guy, Coach Dabes, some love in the comment section. Type Dabes. I want to see the whole chat flooded with Dabes. You happy Brian Dable's your coach? He's better than McAdoo. He's better than Shermer, and he's better than the lap runner Joe Judge by a mile. I am proud that we have Brian Dable as our head coach. Type those Dabes if you're there with me. Josh, what up, bro? He says, do you think Adoree Jackson will be effective as soon as he comes back with it being a knee injury? That's a good question, and that's something that I think a lot of NFL fans forget about. It's like, it ain't Madden. You don't just come back from injury and all your attributes are back to what they were before you got hurt. There's something to being in a groove and not having rust build up. Like, that's why I wouldn't mind if Jackson played for a series or two against the Eagles, but he has to be. The Giants can't afford for him not to be. They need him to come back and be that best corner on the team like he was before he got hurt. I'm sure it'll take him a drive, 2 drives, 3 drives, knock that rust off. But Adoree Jackson at 80% is still our number 1 corner by a lot. So I think it's definitely something to think about. Josh, that's a great point. We can't have any other option than Adoree Jackson come back and be the best version of himself when we face off against Justin Jefferson potentially in the first round of the playoffs, because that's the assignment he's going to draw. Play the Niners, you're going to get Debo and Brandon Ayuk. He's going to be thrown in the fire. In the playoffs, you play the best of the best. That's what he'll be doing in round 1. Tristan, my guy, said, is Odell going to join the Giants in the playoffs? No. No. It was fun to talk about. I think Odell thought he was healthier than he was. I don't think people liked it when Odell said he didn't feel the need to play in the regular season. I don't think teams were a fan of him not playing in the regular season and joining in round 1 of the playoffs. You got to be your sharpest on your best in the playoffs. And without a season, an off season, a training camp, or a regular season game to get the chemistry right, it was never going to happen. I do still think it was the best chance for the Giants to sign him to a long-term deal this year, even if he didn't play. But no, Tristan, I do not think Odell is going to join the Giants in the playoffs. Odell or not, we're subbing for playoffs, dubbing. We put out videos every single day on the latest Giants news and rumors here on Giants Now by Chat Sports. We go live every single game day, and we do our weekly live shows that are always a blast. If you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube that covers everything under the sun related to the Giants, go down right now, hit that big red button. And if you want to win a playoff game, sub for playoff dubs. Melissa, what up, Melissa? What do you think about signing a running back in the draft? I don't mind it. I honestly am of the belief that you should probably take a running back almost every NFL draft in round 6 or 7. With a position that has such a short shelf life, and one that, let's be honest, the Giants are probably going to re-sign Saquon Barkley. You're going to have to commit a lot of salary cap dollars there. You don't want to pay your backups a lot of money. You know who you don't pay a lot of money? 6th and 7th round draft picks. You know what position probably gets the most production out of 6th and 7th round draft picks? Running back. So I wouldn't mind drafting a running back in the NFL draft. I wouldn't do it in round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd lean towards 6 or 7. I like Gary Brightwell. I like Matt Breida. If they want to come back for cheap deals, I'm down with that. But I wouldn't mind, getting another running back in the draft. Neezy, my guy, appreciate the super chats earlier, brother. He says, how do we feel about signing free agent wide receivers after the season and drafting inside linebackers? That's what's got to happen. You want this team to become a Super Bowl contender? You need a couple more playmakers at the wider out spot. You need a game-changing inside linebacker. You need 2 more starting interior offensive linemen, and you need another lockdown corner. That's what great teams do. They reload, they don't rebuild, and they draft and sign players of value. Neezy, I think what you just stated, wide receiver, inside linebacker, interior O-line, and corners are the biggest needs for the Giants. In order, I think I already said it, but I'd go wide receiver, corner, interior offensive line, inside linebacker. If you're able to get a playmaker at each one of those spots this offseason, Giants are cooking with some grease next year. We'll get to more questions in a second, but first, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, BetUS, the best damn sports book in the game, and they're offering the best deposit bonus when you sign up. So go to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code chat125. Put $100 in your account, they'll give you a free $125 to bet with. That way you got $225 to roll. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Promo code chat125. You can bet on the Giants game versus the Eagles, or you can bet on the Giants game in the playoffs. I'm getting rich off the Giants this year. It's been awesome. You can do the same. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Gossy boy. Is Hodgins getting re-signed? If he is, and what wide receiver should we get in the offseason? Isaiah Hodgins is going to be a Giant for a long time. Unless some other team gives him a lot of money in the offseason, I believe Isaiah Hodgins will be a New York Giant. Rick! What up, Rick? Thanks for tuning in as always, my guy. Yeah, I think you get Hodgins and wide receivers you could look at in the offseason. Juju Smith-Schuster is a free agent. Mecole Hardman is a free agent. The wide receiver free agency class is pretty cheeks, to be honest. It's not that good. But I would love a guy like Juju come play in the slot for the Giants. Mecole Hardman has that connection with Mike Kafka, who was the quarterback coach for the Chiefs and now is the OC for the Giants. We did a video on wide receiver free agent targets a little bit of weeks ago. You can go check that on the channel. I think the Giants will attack the wide receiver position, get a veteran in free agency, and then draft one in the early rounds. That's what I'm projecting. All in NYG. What up, bro? He says, Dable deserves love, but so does Joe Shane. He constructed this roster with no money. Thank you, Dave Gettleman. If you want to get the thanks DGs in the comments for the catastrophe of a cap situation he left Brian Dable and Joe Shane in, I'm always down to show the fraud, Dave Gettleman, some love. But you're 100% right. What Joe Shane did this offseason with the limited amount of cap space is truly incredible. Jahad Ward, as a $1 million cap hit, he's a starter. Richie James, $1 million cap hit, he's a starter. He restructured Darius Slayton's contract instead of cutting him. Great move. He's a starter, $1 million. Jalen Smith, a starter for $800K. Jason Pinnock was a great fill-in for Xavier McKinney when he got hurt, and he's still playing snaps for $800,000. Nick McLeod had to play some big snaps for Adoree Jackson when he got hurt. Fabian Morrow has been your number one corner for the past 7 weeks. Tony Jefferson, a practice squad elevation. He's played great. Isaiah Hodgins, he's your number one receiver. You're paying him $391K. Landon Collins had a pick 6 last week. You have 10 players on this list. That is less than $7 million. And they're all starters and they all contribute. Great Joe Shane's first year for me as a general manager. If you don't put anything but an A, I don't know what you're doing. Because you don't see production from players like that make that type of money on any roster across the NFL. The Giants have gotten the most production out of the limited financial cap space that they had. It is incredible what Joe Shane did to build this roster. I can't wait to see what he does when he has some cap space. Joe Shane did a great damn job, guys. And I'm not even talking about the draft. I'm just talking about filling out the roster with limited funds and getting production out of them. Great Joe Shane's first year, A, B, C, D, or F. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. YouTube.com/NYGiantsTV. We're always trying to grow the channel. If you have a friend, a family member, a brother, a sister, a mom, a baby dad, a niece, a nephew, I don't know what other more relations there are, but if they love the Giants, send them the link. YouTube.com/NYGiantsTV. We would appreciate it if you shared and subscribed. Crimsdad with a $10 super chat says, is Alonzo in the building? Trade Seeps for Lonzo. Lonzo is in the building. Just not on this stream. That's a Niners and Eagles thing only. But Crimsdad, you are hilarious. I'll tell you that much. You are. What do you got to say about that, Seeps? I think, is he saying that you're not as attractive as Lonzo?
Well, first off, that's a little messed up of you, Crimsdad. And Crimsdad, I am enjoying the scene where our relationship goes. I feel like we have a good love-hate going on right now.
There's a good base that y'all have to this relationship.
Yeah, we have a good base. It's just guys being dudes, Crimsdad, and I love it.
Guys being dudes. Crimsdad, thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Always showing love. You're my man. I got a shot from my guy Crimstad. We're going to put on a 2-minute shot clock. Every super chat that comes in the next 2 minutes, we will answer those. If none comes in, we are going to sign off, get ready for the Knicks game. We're at $35 in super chats. If we get to 100, we'll do a beer shotgun race. I'll smoke the Minnesota Viking fan, show you what's going to happen wild card weekend. If not, if no supers come in the next 2 minutes, we are going to sign off on today's show. Thank you for everyone tuning in. We got over 200 people still cooking right now. You guys are awesome. Always showing love. Everyone that super chatted, you guys are awesome. Crim's dad, a real one. Jay says, do we have any key injuries? You must have not watched the show. Must not watch the show. Yeah, Adoree Jackson, our number one corner. Crim's dad, what do you mean by that? Like, Crim's dad, what do you mean by that? How about this, Crim's dad? If we get to $100 in super chats, I'll beer shotgun race Lonzo. How about that? If we get to $100 in super chats, I'll beer shotgun race Lonzo. We're 55 away. What do you mean by let's discuss Lonzo? We're at 45. We're 55 away. Go get Lonzo. Bring her in here. Bring her in here. Bring her in here. Lonzo. What up, Renz? We are 55 away, CD. Well, I said if we get to 100, oh, there it is! Crim's dad with the $55 super chat. Go get the equipment. Get the equipment. Lonzo is going to get the equipment. Smell like what? I don't know. Lonzo, we got to do a beer shotgun race, me and you. Yeah. This is Giants. Because they were trying to trade Seeps for Lonzo. And I had my guys back. Oh, my God. F the Cowboys. F the Cowboys. Playoffs. Who will win more playoff games, the Giants or the Cowboys?
Hey. Dilly, fuck Philly.
Dilly, F Philly. Cha with a $25 super chat. Bang! What up, Cha? Rick, thank you, my guy. What? Yeah. Make it to the playoffs. We got a Red Sox fan happy that they re-signed a player that didn't lead them to the playoffs last year. F the Red Sox.
Let's go, baby.
What's that fist for?
We got our guy.
You got Mookie Betts? You got, what's the shortstop that went to San Diego? Bogarts? B. Baloli. What up? Crim's dad, we are grabbing the equipment. We're going to do a beer shotgun race, me versus Lonzo. She's pretty damn good at this, to be honest. So I'm pretty nervous. Pretty damn nervous. Rick, salute. Thank you. Are you ready, Lonzo? Yeah. Yeah. I'm not good at regular shotguns. If you want to do that, you can. But I think it would be unfair at that point because it's going to take me at least 10 seconds. And then I think a regular shotgun. Lonzo, welcome to the show. I think this might be your first time on Giants. You got to strap it on, Lonzo. Strap the hook on the lever. You got it. I don't need to help you. You never done this before?
You might beat me.
So, Seeps, you got to... Yeah, gum and beer doesn't work all that well. Seal Pasito is in the chat. What up, Seal Pasito? All right, so you have to pull it down. Little,
Pocket.
yeah, I didn't want to say it, but you got to, and then you got to pull it down pretty hard right here. Don't be shy with it. According to Seeps, what do you have to get? Got to get a good cock. It is key to everything. If you don't get a good cock, you're not going to rock. I didn't say it. You said it. All right.
Like, boom.
Boom, boom, and then trigger. Like you'll hear it, tss, and then this is to. Oh, are these ice cold? Oh man.
Is that bad?
No,
You put it in the right way, right?
I think so. Let me see. Let's double check. This side has to be facing like that. So, because this is what. Because look. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Is this right?
Yes, because then this
Oh,
will
okay,
go
okay,
here.
okay.
Yeah, we're right. Well, technical difficulty. We're just making sure everyone gets a good cock. That's all that's all we're waiting on. That's what it's called when you pump a shotgun. You cock the shotgun. All right, we ready?
Oh, you might be me. All right.
All right, Seeps, count us down.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, shit. It's stuck.
Here we go. They're
All right.
off. Oh, I think it got off to a pretty good start. No way.
Oh my God, that was impressive.
No way. No way.
We need a beer check.
We need a beer check.
Is that empty? If that is the most impressive feat I have ever seen. Because not gonna lie, oh my, that's impressive.
March, we got to step our game up. We've been doing this too much.
Show Lonzo some love.
Yeah, seriously, that was
Type your Lonzos in the chat.
That was kind of fun.
that was very impressive.
You guys are so good to
Thank-
talk about.
Oh, they're
Thank you.
amazing.
They're the
They're
best.
amazing. Here, I got you. Thank you, Lonzo.
Type Zoe in the chat.
Type those Zos in the chat.
Type those Zoes in the chat.
Jesus.
Jeez, Marsh, you got your ass kicked.
You know
We
what?
need Abby and Brett to do it.
Abby and Brett,
Abby
they're
and Brett
both
would
pretty
be-
damn good.
Brett is very good.
Brett's very good as well.
Go tell.
You want to just put these in the fridge? Someone? Thanks, Abby. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
What a show. What a show.
What a show.
What a show. I had a bad cock and got kind of wet. So I like no cap, no excuses, no excuses. She had a hard start. You saw that?
Yeah.
So did you see me wait for
Yeah,
her?
yeah, I noticed.
But I
that.
think she was
No,
going even though I was waiting.
I think it was 2 gulps. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, no. Let's get it together. But I'm serious. Like,
Rick, don't do that to me. I'm already utterly embarrassed. Rick, you're supposed to be in my corner at all times, Rick. Seal Pasito with a $10 super chat. I thought you were my guy, Rick, and now you abandon. You know what real friends do, Rick? They support their friends in the toughest of times. And that's what I'm in right now. And you turned your back on me. Oh, my God.
oh my god.
Crimsdad, PG. Keep it PG, Crimsdad.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Come on, PG.
It is so. I thought that was only an Eagles and Niners thing, but it worked on here. I know, Bill. She owned me. I had a bad cock. Oh my gosh.
All right.
Whoa, Mike. Come on, Mike. Come on. All I ask is we keep it respectful.
Keep it together.
Respectful. Just keep it respectful. Charles, what do you mean by that? This is ridiculous, Charles.
You don't think Marsh
Cha,
is
you don't
cute?
think I'm cuter than Lonzo?
What the hell, Cha?
What the hell, Cha? I thought you were my dog. That's fucked up.
That's messed up, Cha.
I'm at my lowest right now, and you guys don't have my back. If y'all want her to host Giants
I know.
now, just say yes.
They want her to produce. They want her to host. Like,
Y'all are just trading me for the first.
look at Crim's dad now trading me again.
All right, we're siding.